tonight. Oh, tonight?
Yeah?
This is where you see people that you've never seen before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
People
absolutely.
come once a year.
Right.
Thank you, no break. That one gets played a lot.
Gary, yeah, he was actually at rehearsal. Yeah.
A rehearsal, okay.
Yeah, it was really cool. And actually, Gregory was our pianist. We've known him since.
I kind of figured.
He's not a free spirit, but I meant.
Well, my introduction was not great. It's like he moved me over.
He's been here since.
You don't get to do that.
Vickie saw that.
Did she? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad.
Quincy Jones, yeah.
Quincy Jones, okay.
Oh my gosh, it's, here, I'll just play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I love them. But like all the choirs are good. I want to say they're rough. Yes.
Good evening, and welcome to the Unitarian Church of Evanston. My name is Emma Farrell. I'm your Ministerial Intern. I go by any pronoun spoken with respect, and it is such a joy to be together with you on this Christmas Eve. Whether this is your spiritual home or you're newly discovering this community, we're glad you're here. We strive to be a welcoming and inclusive community, seeking truth in love and nurturing the human spirit for a world made whole. We are guided by our principles and values, which remind us in every moment and through every challenge that each of us is worthy of love and that we are all connected to the vast and beautiful web of existence. We come together to remember our kinship with one another and to hold one another in heart and mind with tenderness and careful attention, and to dedicate ourselves more fully to living our shared values. We have an area in the front called the Nest for young children and their families. Tonight we also have room 3 set up to stream the service if you'd rather have another place to watch while your children play. Please ask the lobby attendant to point you in the right direction if you need. And now, let us unite on this Christmas Eve to create sacred space together. Welcome to worship. Have you ever heard snow? Not the howling wind of a blizzard, not the cracking of icy snow underfoot, but the actual falling of snow. We heard it one night, quite unexpectedly, a soft whisper between footsteps. We stopped and just listened. All around us in the darkness, we heard the gentle fall of snow on snow. No wind, no sound, but the snow. Have you ever heard Christmas? Not the traffic noises in the city, not the bells and hymns and carols, beautiful as they are. Not even the laughter of your children as they open their presents, but the sound of Christmas itself. Have you been by yourself and just sat and listened to the silence within patiently, without letting the mind race to the next Christmas chore? Perhaps, if you have, you felt the pulse of all humanity beating in your own heart. Perhaps you noticed an outflowing of love for all your siblings and relations on the earth, a soft sense of oneness with all that lives. In the silence of a snowy night, listen intently, holding your breath, and you may hear snow on snow. Serene, alone, undisturbed by thought. Listen to the silence in your heart, and you may hear Christmas.
Good evening. Merry Christmas. I'm Eileen Wiviott. I'm the senior minister of this congregation. It's a joy to be with you tonight. I share our land acknowledgement that the Unitarian Church of Evanston resides on land that was recorded as being transferred from the local Potawatomi community to the U.S. government in 1829, shortly before the Potawatomi in this area were forcefully removed west of the Mississippi River. This land was then sold to white settlers. We also remember the ancestors of contemporary African Americans, the individuals, families, and networks of Black people who built up our country's culture and economy, a role forced on them originally by enslavement. We acknowledge the intentional violence that landed on North American shores in 1619, has continued throughout the generations, and remains a reality today. These acknowledgements are one small effort toward building long-term solidarity with contemporary communities. We commit ourselves to take what we learn in this place and nights like this and incorporate them into our lives and turn our thoughts into actions. Please join in our words of shared commitment. We name these realities with honor for all the ancestors, respect for our descendants, and gratitude for the land we use as sacred space.
Not gold, nor myrrh, nor even frankincense would I have for you this season, but simple gifts, the ones that are hardest to find, the ones that are perfect, even for those who have everything, if such there be. I would, if I could, have for you the gift of courage, the strength to face the gauntlets only you can name, and the firmness in your heart to know that you, yes you, can be a bearer of the quiet dignity that is the human glorified. I would, if by my intention I could make it happen, have for you the gift of connection, the sense of standing on the hinge of time, touching past and future, standing with the certainty that you, yes you, are the point where it all comes together. I would, if wishing could make it so, have for you the gift of community, a nucleus of love and challenge, to convince you in your soul that you, yes you, are a source of light in a world too long believing in the dark. Not gold, nor myrrh, nor even frankincense would I have for you this season, but simple gifts, the ones that are hardest to find, the ones that are perfect, even for those who have everything, if such there be.
Please rise in body or in spirit and join in saying the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Before we sing our next hymn, I invite those joining us online to greet each other in the chat and those gathered in the sanctuary to turn to one another and say hello to someone who's new to you.
Our hymn is number 227, Crush Flickers Bright Here.
Good evening. Our time for all ages is from a book called The Message of the Birds by Kate Westerlund. Here we go. Pictures by Farrell and Oral. The old owl began a story he had told many times over the years. Long ago, in a simple stable, a child was born. And as he lay, the animals of the stable tenderly watched. There were birds in the rafters singing and listening to the gentle cooing and gurgling of the baby. But what they heard in his voice were the words of a song that they would carry throughout the world. It was a special song of blessing, of joy and goodwill. "Why don't we sing it anymore?" asked the robin. "People don't listen," said the partridge. "Why not?" asked the cuckoo. "Perhaps it is the language they no longer understand," said a lark. "But if they listened with their hearts," suggested the little robin. "Hearts understand every language, don't they?" "Some people think the message is for others and is not meant for them," said the owl. "I think many of them have had their ears closed for so long they don't remember how to listen," said the hoopio. "The children," said the robin softly. "We should sing it for the children," he continued. "They would listen and they would understand the message." For a moment, there was not a sound. And then suddenly, the branches were alive with twittering and chirping and every kind of bird sound. They all agreed. "Tell every bird you see," the owl said. "Tell them wherever they fly to whisper the message. Sing it softly to every child." The birds flew in every direction. Some had long journeys, but wherever they flew, they sang and whispered to bird after bird and to child after child. Then one night it was time. A big, bright, beautiful star shone down over the earth. A child came with a lantern and reached out to hold the hand of another. She held the hand of her brother, and he reached for the hand of a friend. People came with candles, lights, and torches to see what was happening. They saw hands linked together, white hands, brown hands, black hands. Children everywhere were joining together. The children had heard the message of the birds, and what had started as a whisper now resounded from shining faces all over the world. For you see, hearts do understand every language. Hear us, hear the message. Let there be peace, peace on earth.
We'd like to invite you to join us in singing parts of this next piece. The choir lyrics and your lyrics will be projected on the screen. And to warn you at one point, who sings what switches right in the middle of a lyric. So you'll notice that. Before we sing this version of the first Noel, I'd like to read what Jonathan Miller, the arranger and lyricist of the additional words, wrote about this. He says, "This new setting of a beloved carol was written for the Sounds Good choirs that I helped to lead in the Chicago area. I was inspired to write it after hearing a lecture by Father Gregory Boyle, the visionary founder of Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles, the world's largest gang intervention, rehab, and re-entry program. Father Gregory, or G-Dog, as he is affectionately known, brought the audience to tears by saying, in essence, that the way to heal people at the margins of society is actually to open our arms so wide that there are no margins anymore. I thought about his words for a long time and decided that I would write a new verse to the first Noel in that spirit." Jonathan goes on to say, "I wish you joy as you sing this, and I wish that the intentions in these lyrics become true." The first Noel.
As part of our mission to nurture the human spirit for a world made whole and our values of generosity and equity, we take an offering each time we gather on Sunday mornings to share with a partner organization doing the work of justice in our wider community. Tonight, as we do each Christmas Eve, we take an offering to support the UCE Pastoral Care Fund, which provides resources for our members and friends who at any time during the year might find themselves in need of a little financial help. These funds might be used to help pay a month's rent, fix up a car needed to get to work, keep the heat on, or to provide childcare during a crisis. This modest fund is drawn upon at the discretion of the ministers when we're asked. It can restore hope and provide a sense of belonging to a larger network of care. This is the only night of the year, this is the only time that we do this, take this offering for our internal uses. We give tonight in the spirit of community, of oneness and love and generosity, knowing that any one of us at any moment may be the one able to give from abundance or the one in need of our collective generosity. You may text to give, mail in a check, put cash in the collection bowls, or give from our website. If you do write a check, please indicate in the memo line if the check is for the shared offering or if you prefer to give to some other giving within our organization. The ushers will now come forward to pass the collection bowls down the rows. Please give as generously as you are able, and may what you give bring you joy.
nation shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we. Let all within us praise his holy name. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices on night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night, oh, night divine.
Generosity. Thank you for your generosity. And thank you for that music. It doesn't seem like much. One emperor, one mandate, one census, 2 young people traveling, a young woman pregnant and feeling every bump on the road, every vertebra of the laden donkey, and arriving to their destination late in the purple night, lit by one bright star and so many cold shoulders. No, they said, no room here. Not good news for someone so near. And what about the backache and the contractions near to giving birth? And sometimes that moment is exalted as the advent arrival of the liberator, but the truth is that dullness of heart, flatness of courage is the same as the no, the same as the cold shoulders, rolling eyes, and doors blithely thrown shut. No angel, no astrologer, no star, and no sheep can convince a heart closed to the natural yes of people around us. Neighbor, kin, and about to be friend. What can we liberate if we cannot see the journey as an example of our own? So throw open the door, make ready the space, love as if there is no other medicine. What if you are not a righteous innkeeper, but instead the manger, the stable, the haven of rest?
and the silver star, to find my peace and grieve no more, to heal this place inside my heart. On every branch I lay some bread, and hungry birds still off the sky. They rang like bells around my head. They sang my spirit back to life. One tiny child can change the world. One shining light can show the way. Through my tears for what I've lost, there's still my joy. There's still my joy for Christmas Day. The smoke goes down, peace and rest in slow moonlight on the waves. My soul was lost, here I am. This must be a amazing grace. One tiny child can change the world. One shining light can show the way. Beyond his tears for what I've lost, there's still my joy. There's still my joy for Christmas Day. One tiny child can change the world. One shining light can show the way. Beyond his tears for what I've lost, there's still my joy. There's still my joy for Christmas Day. There's still my joy for Christmas Day.
The story of Christmas, the birth of a child in a lowly manger, is one that contains multiple lessons. Some are more compelling than others for this crowd. As Unitarian Universalists, we focus less on the part of the story having to do with the virgin birth. I'd venture to say most of us either don't buy it or reject the patriarchal premise outright. And we focus less on the story of who this particular baby will become, his role as the Messiah, the one with the power to save us all from our inherent sinfulness. In this faith, we mostly use this story to reflect on the miracle of every birth, the sanctity and preciousness of every life. It is the sacred story of our common humanity, which contains the power of love to transform the world as well as the propensity for great cruelty. And there is another common story within this tale, one found in many other ancient and modern narratives. It is the story of making room for the stranger, an essentially human story, a warning and aspiration. Few of us, when filled with Christmas cheer and the spirit of generosity, would readily identify with the emperor or the cold-hearted innkeeper who slams the door in a pregnant woman's face. We'd rather think of ourselves as a generous, hospitable host, or even the wayward traveler needing the kindness of strangers, rather than to think of ourselves as the hard-hearted innkeeper. Yet this is a common story because it is a common struggle. It is downright hard to be a place of welcome for those we fear and despise. Imagine for a moment yourself not as Mary heavy with child or Joseph leading her on a donkey, but imagine how it would feel to be the innkeeper on that dark night, fearing the retribution of an encroaching empire. When faced with the theoretical scenario of welcoming those whom others have rejected, it's easy to imagine oneself as always willing to fling open our doors. But let's be real. When was the last time someone in dire circumstances knocked on your door in the middle of a dark night? Someone you didn't know. Did you let them come right in? Would you? I can tell you my honest answer, though I'm not proud of it, is no. No one has knocked on my door in the night, and if they did, I'm fairly certain I wouldn't let them in. I wish I could say unequivocally I would, but truth be told, I believe fear in me would win out. And I'm not suggesting we shouldn't protect our families from intruders, that we shouldn't have caution or boundaries. None of us can save the whole world. But the reason this story shows up again and again, the reason we challenge ourselves with it, is because it is hard and because it is true. It's hard to overcome fear, especially in times of real terror and preyed upon fears. It's hard to be a truly open and welcoming presence. We tell this story again and again because it is so desperately needed. The story of empire casting people out, the story of the wayward, lost, and unhoused isn't hypothetical. It's not just a philosophical exercise. It is the reality right now. Millions of people around the world are lost, unhoused, seeking refuge, in search of safety amidst the ravages of war. From Gaza to Evanston, people are looking for shelter, a place of safety, knocking on doors, asking for kindness. Being truly open is risky and scary. There are endless reasons and countless ways to turn from each other, to close our doors, to say no when we could say yes. As Reverend Soto described in our reading, dullness of heart, flatness of courage is the same as the no, the same as cold shoulders, rolling eyes, and doors blithely thrown shut. Being a haven for one another in this vast and frightening world is not easy. It's much easier to say no room at the inn, no space here, it's too risky, we have too much to lose. What if we're taken advantage of? What if another's need becomes too big? What if I'm the next target? Better protect myself from the worst of what might come. Our fears become tiny bolts of protection, locking our hearts down. Opening these locks is a practice of presence to what we're called to be in this very moment. Being a welcoming manger, cultivating an open and welcoming heart is a practice best done in community. Driving away the shadows of fear in our hearts to make them a little less closed is something one lit candle can do, then another and another. In the same way, one brave act of kindness can inspire another. One person showing compassion and offering help in a modest way can demonstrate to those who bear witness what is possible. Generosity, kindness, and love expand when shared. And I know that there are those among us who have opened their doors, their hearts, and their lives, welcoming those in need and drawing in others to help. I've seen it here. Members of this community have provided compassionate support to families seeking asylum, escaping homes no longer safe. I see you, and I appreciate you. I also know it isn't always possible to open a home, to provide shelter or a meal, but together we can do so much more. Together we can open more doors and make more space. We can ease each other's fears, strengthen one another's resolve, call one another to be our more generous, hospitable, and less afraid selves. Together we can find more yeses and fewer nos. Friends, the risks of being compassionate and welcoming will grow in the coming weeks, months, and years. The challenges to our values will undoubtedly rise, and the imperative to keep stretching ourselves to live into the qualities of the manger, the humble and adequate recipient of those who might need protection, will be ever more present. So let us together consider how we might practice throwing open the doors a little wider. How can we make ready the space of our hearts and our homes? How can we more deeply love as though there is no other medicine? Together we can move moment by moment from the position of the righteous and hard-hearted innkeeper to the warmth of the manger, the stable, the haven of rest. May we, in the times to come and through the power of beloved community, grow the collective capacity of our hearts. Now let us sit for a moment in stillness. Hearts open, spirits eager, souls longing for peace, to welcome the spirit of Christmas. Let us remember with love those distant and those near. Let us remember with gratitude those who have given to us of themselves. Let us remember with compassion those who have need of our gifts. The darkness is strong and the cold now increases, yet on this night we are assured that winter is not the final word of life. On this night of all nights, we dream of how the world might be, and we pledge ourselves to contribute to the well-being of all. For even now, in the coming of winter's deepest cold, we receive the promise of warmth. And in the days of longest darkness, we see the light returning in triumphant joy. This is the light which is promised. This is the hope of this season of joy. This is the flame of courage that burns in every heart. This is the flame of love that lights each human countenance. This is the flame of compassion that guides each human soul. We are the keepers of this light. We and our kin all over the great wide world. As we sing together, we let the light pass among us, that each would carry it forth from this place and share it with all the world. And as the light comes to each one of us, let us dedicate ourselves anew as willing bearers of life's warm light into a cold and dark and fear-filled world. And the world will be less cold, less dark, and less afraid. We will begin with the light of a single flame, the flame of our chalice, Emma and I will come down the center aisle and start passing the light there. And then the next candle holder will tip their candle to receive the light. So if your candle is lit, hold it straight, and the other person. Works better that way. And as the light is passed through the congregation, we will sing our final carol, Silent Night.
Now we take our leave from one another, going out into the streets to find our homes and make them warm and bright with love, that we may ever be ready to welcome and receive the stranger and the sojourner, whether coming to us as a stable-born child or as a neighbor or as a lost and half-forgotten part of our own lives. May we go in joy. May we go in peace.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
That's it.